Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is June 26, 2021. I want to quickly recap last week's market activities and also talk about trading ideas for next week. It's very important to understand what stocks we can buy next week. We will look at major news shaping the market, macro trends, and top and bottom performing stocks, and which stocks are worth investing at this time. So with that, let's get started. From a major news perspective, we had several major news last week. The big one is really Feds give big banks clean bill of health in the latest stress test. So this is where we have big banks like Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citigroup, Bank of America. All these stocks have got a clean bill of health. That means these companies can now buy back their own shares and also pay dividends. So that will be good news for these banks. Their stocks can go up on this news. And then we got we have a deal. Biden says so. We have infrastructure bill here about $1 trillion or so that can benefit a lot of these infra stocks. We'll look into as we go forward. And also we have Delta, which is a variant COVID virus that accounts for 20% of all new cases. And also there is a recommendation that even vaccinated folks, probably it's better to wear mask so that way we don't get these variants. And we have Feds here. He's saying we have still long way to go on recovery. So that's a little bit reassuring because that tells you maybe Feds may not raise the rate with the recovery long way to go. And the key inflation indicator, which is PCE, that's posting a biggest year over year gain in nearly 3 decades. So again, we have mixed news here. I think it's good to be on a watch out. You never know, in a year or two time, Fed may start increasing the rates, which will have some effect on the market. From a general news perspective, you're all watching the news. Crypto crash wipes out $1.3 trillion. And this is where I feel like we have some opportunity here. We can pick up some of these stocks on a discount and look at some trading opportunities also. And Bitcoin mining could get whole lot easier after China crackdown. This is where all the weak links will go out now and only strong players will emerge. So that's a good news. And US blocks some solar materials made in one of the China region here. I think this is where some of the human right violation, it's really taking some steps here. US is taking some steps that will impact Daqo Energy, ticker symbol DQ. I like this company. I would be buying on any pullback here and building a nice position. China plans to send its first crewed mission to Mars. So I think this is where we have a lot of companies. We have China interested in space. We got Elon Musk's SpaceX, Jeff Bezos, and even Richard Branson with his SPCE. There is a lot of competition when it comes to space and Mars. We'll see how it goes. It's good to invest in some of these space stocks when they cool down a little bit. It's hard to deny valuations are really high. As you all know, S&P 500, Nasdaq, they're all at a all-time high. We got to be careful here and really don't chase the stocks which are going high. Instead, really be vigilant and buy good quality stocks at a discount. And with that, let's go in and look at major stock news. First one is really Tesla to recall nearly 30,000 China-made Model 3 and Model Y vehicles. It might have a small impact in the stock price in the upcoming week. Let's see how it goes. There is a lot of new IPO listings coming up. Some of them already come up: GRPH, CXM, VERV, and we got a couple more on the docket. They will come later, like YOU, EVCM, and so on and so forth. Whenever market goes up like this, all these new IPO listings, they will basically come up, and that will basically suck the demand. And there is a really stock market can really go down a little bit because of all these new listings. And I think there is a prediction here, because of the infrastructure bill, we could have all these infrastructure related stocks going up. It's a huge bill, as you can see here, $1 trillion, even after a tapered down bill. And we got AMT, FER, AST, which is Aztec, as you might be knowing, MLM, Road, all these stocks like URI, VMC, again, material stock here, Deere. All these stocks can do well with this $1 trillion infra bill. And banks will double capital return after successful stress tests. That's the good news for the banks. Bank stocks can go up now. SpaceX aims to launch Starship flight in July. Virgin Galactic stock jumps 39%. Best ever day after FAA approves passenger spacelift. That's the good news for all these space stocks. Even Jeff Bezos with his Blue Origin, he's also planning to go to space. I think all good news in the space area. Great. And we got Royal Caribbean to launch first passenger cruise. That's a good news for all these cruise liners like RCL, Norwegian, and even Carnival for that matter. Nike shares surges 15% to record high. I think they did very good on the earnings. Eli Lilly soared on the Alzheimer's. Now looks like we got this FDA. They're clearing some of these Alzheimer drugs. That's a good news. I think stocks like Eli Lilly and now even Biogen has got some competition here. We'll see how it goes. Cathy Wood, her ARK Innovation ARKK, slowly turns positive for the year. So that's where all these high growth stocks are doing well off late. That's why Cathy is getting her groove back a little bit, but she's still not there yet. She's just turning positive for the year. Visa to buy fintech Tink for $2.2 billion. I think Visa will be, again, major player as we go forward. Cathy Wood bought some more Bitcoin. I think she does a good job. She jumps in, buys when the price is right. She's not afraid. That's the good news. And Beyond Meat loses some Dunkin' business. Shares are falling. So we'll watch this also as we go forward. If the shares are at a good level, we would buy as it falls. So with that, from an earnings update perspective, CarMax shares jump 5.8%. I think that's a really good news. The used car sales, as you can see here, they are doing well as of now. And Kroger raises full year guidance. So this is where all these grocery type stocks, I think they're doing nicely with this pandemic kind of going away slowly. Accenture stock surges. I think Accenture is a great software consulting type company. I think they will do well as the economy progresses. This stock has been a rocket ship of late. Olive Garden, again, parent of Darden Restaurant, they also raised, they report same restaurant sales nearly at 2019 level. That's a very good news. All these sit-in restaurants, I think they're doing well now. Now that all this COVID is kind of slowly going away. Winnebago gains, I think this is where all these recreational vehicles, Winnebago, Thor, they're all doing well. People are buying RVs again. I think that's a good news. Marriott Vacations, WAC raises Q2 guidance, still seeing strong recovery. I think folks are really taking some vacations off late. They are, going to Marriott vacations and Airbnb and so on and so forth. Info, IHS Market, their profit rise, beat estimates, that's good news. Plug Power again rallies, that's also good news. This stock has been down for a while now, it's good, it's going up. On the negative side, we got a few of these opportunities here. I will be buying some of these stocks myself. First is Rite Aid. Stock sinks after profit beats, but revenue comes up shy. I would be buying this Rite Aid, slowly and adding to a position, and then basically hold it for a while. KB Home, another great stock. It fell 3.2%. I think they reported a mixed financial second quarter. I would buy KB Home on this fallback and hold it for a while. Patterson's share slide. I think I would look at this pattern and see if it's good to buy some and hold for a while. FedEx stock hurt as investor expectations, high expectations, and also labor shortages. I would watch this FedEx stock and slowly buy because FedEx is almost at a high, but I would slowly build a position here. And we got connected intelligence company, CalAmp, post mixed results, Blueberry, Mimi stock. I think they're also struggling a little bit. Progress stock software also slips. So I'll be looking at some of these stocks that are, reported a little bit negative earnings, or even the stocks that have, reported good earnings, but stock is falling down on this news. I'll be watching some of these very closely, especially the ones in the red. I'll watch it carefully and initiate a position as the price becomes right. So from a recap perspective, as you see here, we got EV stocks up nicely. We got Nikola, XL, FSR, Fisker, Tesla. They're all doing nicely last week. And we got space stocks all doing nicely. We got SPCE, SRAC, IRDM, Maxar, Boeing all doing nicely. I think there is a lot of news about the space and launching people to space, commercial tourism, space tourism. I think that's why all these stocks are doing nicely. Cannabis stocks are up, as you can see here. A lot of my favorite stocks are here. They are all doing nicely. We will not chase this, but we'll look at the right position and buy. Software and cloud stocks are doing nicely. We got Trade Desk, Apps, CLX, Baidu, all doing nicely. I would be looking at these stocks carefully. When they pull back a little bit, I'll be adding to my position. Cybersecurity is doing well. We got Ramp, Splunk, Tuffin, UI, and so on and so forth. 3D printing stocks are doing great. We got 3D systems, Stratasys, Exxon, X1, NNDM. They're all doing nicely. I think they're getting their groove back slowly. That's good. Solar stocks are up big. We got Sunworks, First Solar, and so on and so forth. Fintechs are up. Big data stocks are up. Great news here. And on the downside, I'll be looking for some opportunities to buy some of these stocks here. We got gold and silver stocks are down here. HMY, IAG, NGD, EXK, and some of these. Now I'll be probably buying stocks like EXK as an example, and CDE, and some of these stocks next week as they cool off a little bit. Airline stocks are down. I'm going to be looking at some of these airlines and buy them on a discount and get ready as people start vacation more and more. Residential construction stocks are down. I would be buying stocks like KBH and DHI, LEN, and some of these stocks on this pullback. Few biotech stocks are down big. We got GMTX, BMEA, TALS, and so on and so forth. I'll be initiating some position here too. And crypto stocks are down big. So I'll be buying some of these stocks myself on this downturn and wait for a nice bounce back. Bonds are trading lower. We got a lot of these bonds and bond ETFs and even ZB for that matter. The 10-year bonds, 5-year bonds, 20-year bonds, they're all trading lower. I think it may be okay to slowly buy a little bit. I would not rush because if bonds keep falling down, these will go down further. I will be buying slowly. Online education stocks, both in US and China, they're all down. We got GoTo, TAL, IH, even CHGG, even Coursera for that matter. They're all down. I would be looking at buying some of these stocks on this pullback. And few of the gaming stocks are down. We got Gravity, NCTY, NGMS, so on and so forth. I'll be looking at these gaming stocks and buying them on this weakness. Few medical device stocks are trading lower. We got Second Eye, MD, XG, TMCI, so on and so forth. I think it's good to buy some of these on this pullback and hold for a while. So now we look at the macro picture. How is the market doing from a long-term picture? This is a 3-month chart, as you can see here. S&P 500 all-time high, and Dow Jones is going up so fast here, as you can see here. Nice uptrend here. I think we got to be watching a little bit carefully. Nasdaq again at almost at an all-time high here. Russell almost at all-time high. Bonds, as you can see here, bonds is kind of down here. As bonds are down, the stock market is going up. So this is really, the relationship between bonds and stocks, as you can see here. We'll watch how it goes. The downturn, this big candle like this, it will not, it will not be coming again pretty soon, I would think. So I would expect bond to gain some strength next week, and stock market really drop off a little bit next week. And we got here interest rates here climbing up a little bit. That's going to really, we have to watch out carefully here. There could be some impact because interest rate is going up, especially some of the bank stocks might do better with the interest rate going up. We got crude oil. Crude oil is gaining some strength, as you can see here. This might add some pressure to inflation, as we know. So we'll watch out crude as we go forward. Gold is really not doing well. In fact, gold, silver, they're all not doing great. I think this could be our opportunity to pick up some of these gold and silver stocks at this low price and hold it for a while. And dollar itself is kind of trading sideways. I think they did well week before. This week they kind of came down a little bit. So that's good news for oil as an example, and even gold to some extent. So with that net here, I feel like stocks are really becoming strong here. I would really wait for a little pullback next week and put some money to work. So if you look at major ETF, similar story here. All the stock ETF, as you can see, are gaining momentum. SPY, which is S&P 500, DIA, Dow Jones, QQQ, which is Nasdaq 100, IWM, Russell 2000, they're all gaining momentum. And bond is losing out here, as you can see. TLT 20-year Treasury bond, it's losing out. Gold is losing out. XLP is not doing that great, which is really consumer staples. XLU is also not doing great, mainly because as interest rates are going a little bit higher, money will go out from XLU. It will go into safe for interest rate type categories. We got XLK, which is technology, doing nicely. SMH Semiconductor doing pretty okay. XAR, which is these major defense contractor, they're doing great, as you can see here. That's good news. And we got XLE Energy doing great. XRT Retail doing great also. IYR, which is really housing, residential. IYR housing market, I think it's kind of trading range at this time. XLF Financials is doing very nicely. I think this interest rate kind of going up is really helping financials. I would watch some of these stocks carefully. If they pull back a little bit, I would add to my position. We got XLI, big industrials. They're kind of taking a little bit of breather, as you can see here, but they've done nicely last week. I would add some of these big industrials when the time is right. So if you look at this here, we got S&P 500 5-year chart. As you can see here, it's doing great. I mean, really nicely. It's all at all-time high. I would be very careful as S&P 500 goes into all-time high. You got to be really super careful. Don't buy a lot of stocks when they're high. Don't chase them. Instead, look for some quality names which have fallen down of late. And when it comes to skew, it's very important to watch skew. Now I drew two lines here, one line on the top here, one line on the bottom. Anytime skew goes above, say, 155, here it went above 155. It took a while for stock to drop. We had a week or two heads up. It dropped promptly. Then we got here, it was almost reaching to 155. We got this major COVID issue, stock dropped drastically. Now we are above 155. I think we have to watch out here. This is a uncharted territory for most part. I will expect a stock to drop below, at least right now at 170 level. It has to drop down below, say, 150 160 level for a correction. I think it's due in the coming weeks. From a VIX perspective, VIX is really, volatility is really reducing. As you can see here now, it's 15.62. I think it's okay to buy some longer term via VIX options here, maybe 6 months out, and wait for a nice bounce in the VIX options. So with that net here, I'll be very careful with VIX going up. Anytime VIX goes above 155, you should always watch out for a pullback. That's bound to happen. So with that, if you look at bonds here and the interest rates, as you can see here, as the bonds is taking a breather here, interest rate is trying to go up. That's the inverse relationship between the bonds and the interest rate. This is helping interest rates kind of going up is helping the bank stocks, and I think that's the good news. Dollar itself is kind of trading sideways. That's a good news for commodities. I think overall that's good news. As you go forward here, these are the major stocks. As you can see here, all the major big stocks when it comes to technology: Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Facebook. Out of this, as you can see here, Microsoft doing great, and Facebook is doing great. But Apple is struggling a little bit, as you can see, 3 down days here. Amazon is trying to search for direction. I think Amazon will do great. I would be buying some Amazon at these levels. And Apple, if it falls below 130, I'll buy some and hold it for a while. And Google is doing great. Netflix is trying to get its groove back. It fell off drastically after last quarterly earnings. Now it's trying to get its groove back. I think it's a good one. I would wait for a little bit pullback to buy more Netflix here. Nvidia is a rocket ship. It's doing great here. I think their ARM Holdings deal might get closed. Company doing great. I would really watch out carefully. Buy only on the pullbacks here. J&J, I think they had some settlement with the FDA for their cannabis, so I think they will do well. I think it's a good time to buy some J&J and hold it. They got a very good balance sheet, very good credit rating. I would buy some J&J. PayPal, as you can see, a rocket ship at this time. I would not chase at this time. UNH is doing great. Merck is getting its groove back, as you can see here. Anytime Merck falls down like this, it's a good time to buy. It'll always bounce back. Medtronics, with all this COVID variant coming up, the stock is coming down. Some of the elective surgery might wait. So I would be buying stocks of Medtronic and even other stocks like Intuitive Surgical, Edward Life Sciences. Some of these stocks I would buy on this weakness. And then you got JP Morgan. JP Morgan, I would buy this stock on a little pullback with the interest rate bound to go up. This stock will do nicely. Same story with Berkshire Hathaway. Visa almost at all-time high, as you can see here. I would wait for a little pullback here. Home Depot is a good one to buy. I think they already pulled back pretty hard after last earnings. I would buy some Home Depot and Lowe's and some of these housing stocks as they cool off a little bit on down days. Next, we look at major ETF. So here, no surprise. As you can see here, the interest rate, and the bonds, especially bond stocks, are coming down. 20-year Treasury here, 7 to 10 years. Invesco, US dollar, all these are coming down. On the contrary, all the other major stock indices are doing nicely, as you can see here. Energy, retail, financials, IWM, which is a Russell 2000 small cap, they're all doing very nicely. So what you'd, if you don't want to play the stock market game to buy the stock in and out, you could even buy some of these ETF. For example, XLU has done nicely in 10 years. And if you look at XLP, XLV, QQQ is a rocket ship, as you can see here. And we got XLK technology. You could buy some of these on the down days and sock it away. That could be one way to play. Otherwise, you could also buy some good stocks when they drop, and you can play that way too. So with that, let's jump in here. ETF winner perspective, we got, as you can see here, dry bulk is doing well. Natural gas is doing well. Oil and gas is also doing great. And as you scan through here, Copper is getting its groove back. It fell drastically a couple of weeks ago. Now it's getting its groove back. And same story here. As you scan through this, we got some of these bigger names like energy is going up. All the energy related ETFs are going up. Retail going up, bank going up. It's really overall everything is going up. And ARKK, which is Cathodes Innovation ETF, as you look through here, I think they are turning positive almost for 1 year. I think 1 year they've done nicely. Year to date, they're turning positive. And let's go into ETF losers here. No surprise here on the ETF losers. All the crypto like Ethereum and Bitcoin, they're down big with all the China crackdown. I think it's a good time to buy some Bitcoin and some other Bitcoin stocks at this time. Think about Bitcoin stocks like Marathon, BTBT, and even the blockchain stocks here. I think it's a good one to buy at this levels. We will go into some of those names as you go forward. And as you look through here, we got TLT down. This is where bonds are down, and so on and so forth. And now we'll go into small cap weekly winners. The way to read this chart is really we got stock, the company, and the price, market cap, no brainer. And then we got sales and sales growth. I pay very close attention to sales growth because that will make or break the company along with the gross margin. Typically, we look at the rule of 40. If the growth, sales growth, and gross margin, if it's above 40, then it's a good company to invest. That's a back of the napkin type math here. But normally, when you look at these winners and losers, you always need to look at some other criteria like RSI that tells you it's a good time to buy now. And debt to equity tells you the company taking too much debt on its balance sheet. For example, Chicos and VTNR. Some of these stocks have taken a lot of debt on their balance sheet. We got to watch them carefully. Same story with Party City also. Then we got to look at short ratio, and even institutional ownership. We got to look those carefully, and look at the PS ratio, price to sales ratio. A high price to sales ratio, for example, MOXC, you got to watch out. Don't buy on the high, days. Look for a pullback and then buy. And next is the performance. As you can see here, 1 day all the way to 5 year performance. That will give you a good idea. Is the stock doing well in 5 years, 1 year on the longer term horizon? How is it doing in the shorter term horizon? So that will give you a good idea. I will always look for both the sales growth, margin, as well as the performance before I pick a stock. Then also very important for me is what's the difference between the current stock price and its 52-week high. So you don't want to chase the stock. Instead, you want the stock to pull back a little bit before you invest. So that's the methodology here. The way this chart is organized is I got 1 week performance. The stock at the top is the most performing stock in last 1 week. As you can see here, MOXC. 73% in 1 week. I mean, that's a huge performance in 1 week. I would not be chasing the stock which is going up that drastically. So I also have two more things here. Whenever you see a red font in the stock name here, those stocks have got insider selling going on. So you got to be watching a little carefully. Normally, insiders will sell stocks once in a while. But watch out, when the stock is doing 52-week high almost, or it's doing very nicely in 1 week, and there you see insiders selling, probably you don't want to buy there unless there's some good reason. And also look for insider buying. For example, some stocks like POWW, DBI, Designer Brands, CGen, there is a insider buying. So that gives you some confidence. Hey, insiders also buying. Probably it's okay to buy. But either way, I will not be chasing the stocks. When they are 1 week high like this, I will wait for a pullback. And in some stocks, I think we do have a small pullback here. For example, MOXC, 12% drop in last Friday. They're down 24%. And if you look at the RSI is still high. RSI being 74, I would wait for RSI to pull back a little bit to 55 or below before I jump in. So as you can see here, MOXE, ATOS both have got high RSI. I would wait for them to cool off a little bit. And I also have few stocks here like EXPR, which is Express, Chicos, highlighted in bold here because they got positive quarterly sales growth. Whenever you see positive growth, that's what I highlight just to make sure we know these have positive sales growth. And in this list here, I would not chase. I would like these stocks to cool off a little bit, then invest. I don't want to chase. But if you want to invest, just look at RSI and look at RSI, which is really below 55. Stocks like maybe GOED, Auction is also okay. And Brooklyn, one of my favorite stocks of late, it goes up and down. It's a meme stock, has done nicely. I've been offloading a little bit here and there and take some profit as I've been accumulating in the past. And as you scan through here, we got most of these stocks have already gone up so much. DBI could be okay. Insiders are buying it right now. RSI is 52. It may be okay to buy a little bit, but I would not chase when the stocks are going up. I would rather buy them on a sale when they're down. Next, we look at small cap weekly losers. As you can see here, same story. If you see 1 week here, the stock at the top has lost the most in last week, and from there onwards, it's decreasing order, as you can see here. So by looking at this, Torchlight, it's a high valuation. And as you see here, insiders are selling the Torchlight stock. Institutions are buying it a little bit. Whenever there's a purple, that means institutions are buying it here. But the percentage is really how much institutions own. It's not an institution transaction. So purple indicates there's a institution buy, but what the number here does not represent how much institutions are buying. I just want to be on the same page there. And I would really look at this chart here and look at the stocks which are really in green background here, like Rite Aid, Canaan, AMTX. As you scan through this year, they've been dropping off in last 2 week and last 1 week, probably even 1 day. I would buy some of these stocks given RSI is low here, and the stocks which are in bold, they got positive sales growth quarter over quarter, as you can see here. I would buy some of those on this pullback. And we got CleanSpa, BTBT, same story. I would buy them also on the pullback here. EQX, same story. Kopin, as you can see here, looks like insiders are selling Kopin. I like Kopin stock here. I've been accumulating a little bit on this small pullback here, and have a nice position as we go forward. And we got AMRN, same story. Insiders are selling it, and even some of the gold stocks like IAG and Gold Fields, I've been buying a little bit, accumulate a nice position here, and take it from there. Solo here, again, it's a nice stock. As you can see, insiders are also buying this stock. Valuation is high. I would buy this on any pullback. Right now, they're up 30% in 1 month. I would slowly buy it on this on the pullback and accumulate a nice position. Next, we look at mid-cap weekly winners. So again, as you can see here, huge 1 week stock appreciation. You got to be careful to not to chase these stocks up here. Instead, we would wait for a pullback. But if you have to buy, then look at how much they're off from 52-week high and what the RSI. When the RSI is above 55, I would not chase them. I would be a little careful. And as you can see here, we got RSI 72, 71, 76, 70. I would not chase those stocks. Instead, I would look for low RSI. In this list, as you can see here, we got TTD, Trade Desk, a little bit lower RSI here. They're down 22%, but they're up nicely. I would not chase it at this time. But if you have to buy, buy where RSI is below say 50, 55 or something along those lines. Hard to come by in this list because these are all weekly winners. And I also have some stocks where insiders are selling, like Pubmatic, TTD, Magnite, Wish, and so on and so forth. And insiders are buying Editas, Sorrento. That's a good news. If you want to buy some of these Editas and Sorrento with the insiders, you could do that too. Probably on a small pullback. Right now, this stock is up right now. So with that, let's go into next category here, weekly losers. I pay very close attention to weekly losers. Those are some of my biggest gains. So as you look through here, the stock at the top here, it has dropped 14% in 1 week, and so on and so forth. So here I would kind of look at some of the stocks I've highlighted here in the green background. MVIS, Microvision, Clean Energy, Progyny. I think all these stocks are okay at this point to buy. They've been pulled back a little bit of late. You can slowly add and have a nice position here. And then we got OMI, KBH, which is KB Homes. They had earnings last week. Stock fell off a little bit. I would buy on this news and add to position. And as you see here, desktop metal, finally it's getting its still down, but as you can see here, institutions are buying it. That's a positive sign. I would buy some desktop metal, slowly accumulate a nice position and take it from there. I also love CDE here. It's a gold stock, great stock. I would buy on this pullback here. And then we got a couple more here. Coursera is also one of my favorite. I would buy this on this pullback and hold a nice position. Daqo Energy is again one of my favorite. I would buy slowly. I think they're into this, US, basically human right violation issues in China region. So I think we've got to be watching this carefully, slowly add to the position. Stock has done nicely in 1 year. Off late it's dropping off. It's okay to buy slowly and build a nice position. So with that, as you can see here, the stocks which are in red here, this is where insiders are selling the stock. It's not a huge, red flag, but you got to watch out a little bit carefully and take it from there. And also Coursera, as you can see here, insiders are buying it. That's a great sign. Stock is down 22%. And I would slowly accumulate some Coursera at this point along with the insiders. As you look through institutions here, I got some stocks here, Microvision, Clean Energy, and even Desktop Metal, AWA, which is again a EV play. All these areas, the institutions are buying these shares. That's the good news. You could also buy along with them on this down pullback here and accumulate a nice position. Next, we got large cap weekly winners. As you can see here, these are large cap stocks, 10,000 billion plus market cap. They've done so much in 1 week. It's hard to imagine. Like Virgin Galactic has done 52% in 1 week. It's one of the favorite meme stock here. Zero sales, as you can see here, but it has done nicely with all the space news coming up. I would not be chasing the stocks here. I would be a little careful. And also, as you look through here, I've highlighted a few stocks in red. We got insiders selling the stock. Here we got to be a little careful here. And also, I got some purple in institutions in some areas like Tuya and MRO, and here Devon. Insiders are buying. Institutions are buying this stock, which could be good news. And Virgin Galactic's SPCE, institutions are selling some of its stock, and also insiders are selling. That's a double whammy. I think that maybe some, once the short squeeze kind of comes down, I think stock might take a breather here, I would think. We would not chase here. We would wait for the stock to cool off a little bit. Next, we have large cap losers. These are some of my favorites. Normally, I would buy them. Any good quality stock, I would buy them and accumulate on this, stock drop here. SoFi, as you can see here, it's a fintech play. They've been dropping for 1 month, for 2 weeks, for 1 week, and even 1 day. I would accumulate this stock. It's a nice stock. It will come back. They became IPO through a SPAC merger. I think this will do well. Biogen, I think at this time we got even Eli Lilly, their Alzheimer's drug also got approved. So there's some competition from BIIB for Biogen here, and there may be other biotech stocks getting some hope at this point with the Alzheimer approvals. So there will be some competition to Biogen. I would watch carefully here. Stock has gone up very nicely in last week. I would wait for a little more pullback. This stock, I think it's a rocket ship, or it's a really goes up and down. So we got to be catching this stock when it's down, not right now. I will wait for some more pullback and then buy. Then we got AMC here, insiders are selling, even BIIB insiders selling, as you can see here. I would watch carefully here. Right now they are 26% down from 52-week high. I would probably buy stock like Arrival here. It's a EV play, $16. They've been dropping off of late. It's a good one to buy. Institutions are also buying, Arrival here. I would also buy XPAV here. XPAV, I think it's good to wait a little bit. It's been up a lot of late, but I would look at Oatly, Affirm, one of my favorite fintech here. Affirm, Coupang, again, it's South Korea based company, nice company. I would buy some of these stocks on this pullback and add to position. Bentley, again, a good stock. Neo, I think it's done nicely off late. I would wait for a small pullback here. Royalty Pharma is a good company, but right now insiders are selling it. I would wait for this to cool off a little bit. It's not done great, as you can see here. Even 1 year, 6 months, it's all negative, but overall it's a good company. Iron Mountain, again, insiders are selling it. I would also, buy maybe GameStop, Dollar Tree, UAL on this small little pullback slowly and add to position. So next we got mega cap winners. So these are mega cap, big, huge companies, and they've done nicely last week, as you can see here. I would not chase these stocks. I would rather look for RSI levels below 55. For example, we got some stocks here I have highlighted for you: Alibaba, Disney, Oracle, Walmart, Abbott. You can look at some of these stocks and add to position. And also, as you can see, the color coding here, some of these areas insiders are selling, maybe not a huge deal, but just to watch out here. So with that, next we look at mega cap losers here. Clearly we got Amazon not doing so great. I would buy some Amazon on this downturn here. RSI 61, I would buy moderately. It's still a little high for me. Comcast RSI is 46. I think it may be okay to buy some Comcast slowly. And even Salesforce, Mark Benioff, great company. I would buy slowly and add to position. And we got a couple more here, Tencent and TSM, same story. And I would buy some of these stocks also on little pullbacks and accumulate. So with that, thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Please subscribe.